Hey, 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 and welcome back to another episode of Real Estate Tip Tuesday. Hello, Ryan.
Hello, Katie. Welcome back, everyone.
Yes, yes. So today we are going to talk about something that is on everybody's lips because word just came out about this, the 50-year mortgage. Ryan, let's dive right into it. What do we need to know?
Yeah, Bill Pulte, who's the director of the Federal Housing Finance Agency, or FHFA for short, he recently proposed a 50-year mortgage to help with housing affordability. Now, this is just a proposal at this time. It hasn't been fully implemented yet. And, since the announcement, there's been some pushback. So at this time, there are a number of obstacles to really, this proposal faces right now to actually get implemented. But it's really something that I've been getting a lot of questions on. So I'm really glad we're addressing it here. Now, the most popular financing term is a 30-year fixed.
Hmm.
You could go down to a 10-year, it'll be a higher payment. You could pay the house off sooner. Also, a few specialty lenders have offered a 40-year term. And some of those
Hmm.
are still available at this time. But a 50-year term has never been available before. And really, the benefit of this term is it's the lower mortgage payment.
Right.
And I was running the numbers here before our recording, for a median home price of around 450 with 5% down on a 30-year term, the principal and interest would be about $2,632. The
Hmm.
50-year term would be about $2,330. So it's about a $300 difference. So, this can be very helpful, especially for first-time home buyers, looking to get into the market and they just need some extra cost savings to make it work. But the criticism right now for the 50-year term is it's obviously is a much higher interest that you pay over the life of the loan. On that 450,000 example that I just gave, I was doing the numbers. It's 426,000 extra in interest paid for the 50-year term versus the 30. So it's quite a bit. But in the early years of the loan, also, with the longer term, you're mainly paying interest and not really
Right.
building much equity by paying down the principal either. So that's more extended here with the longer term. So that's why there has been some pushback on this proposal because of the higher interest costs. So it would be there's a lot of more legislation that does need to be changed to actually roll this out. So right now, the option, it might not be available. We don't know. We'll keep an eye on it. But if nothing else, what it really shows is the FHFA and Congress, they're really trying to find options to help with home affordability right now, obviously with rates still a little elevated with home prices where they are. So, stay tuned. We'll definitely always be discussing the new programs that are being rolled out. But this one, we'll keep an eye on.
Absolutely. I totally agree. And let me ask you this. How many people do you know that have paid off their loan, like the full term of their loan, have gone the 30 years or, the 15, the 40, whatever term that they have? How many people do you know that have done that?
It's very rare,
Right.
obviously. Most either refinance or sell within 5 to 7 years. Also, if they do pay it off, they usually pay it off in larger chunks, throughout the first few
Right.
years of the loan. Maybe they'll get some inheritance, something that allows them to pay it in a big chunk. So we don't usually see the full term played out. There's always some kind of refinancing or selling in the process. So that's a good point because a lot of people are, the people that are for the 50-year term are saying, hey, it's a great way just to get people in the door. Obviously,
Right.
they won't live in the house for 50 years. They won't have that 50-year term. You could
Mhm.
eventually refinance into maybe a 20-year term once you're starting to make more income, have more saved, get equity. So it could be a good way to get a foot in the door. So a lot of the people who are for this program, that's what they're trying to say. And that's a great point, Katie.
Yeah, totally agree. I mean, like, how many times have you seen somebody refinance their 30-year multiple times? So now they're resetting the clock back to the 30-year, back to the 30-year. We could be 10 years in, we could be 15 years in, still doing this.
Yeah. And really having that 50-year term anyways with the refinancing. So yes, yeah, that's a good point.
Exactly. Exactly. And I like, especially working with a lot of first-time home buyers, I like the opportunity to save a little bit of money up front so that we can get into the home owning game, right? So we can get our foot in the door and we can become a property owner. We can start gaining that equity. We can start feeling the positives of what it is to be a homeowner. And we know between you and I, we know that there are a lot of those. So that's why I quite like the option option. And it's a tool, just like any other mortgage program is a tool, like the 5-1 ARM is a tool, right? So as long as we use it appropriately and we're responsible as we should always be, then this is just another tool in the arsenal.
I completely agree. It's always good to have so many options because, just depending on the situation, yeah, maybe an ARM makes sense. Maybe the 50-year could make sense if it becomes available. And like you said, Katie, just getting your foot in the door, starting to build that equity. And then once you have that equity, you have that house locked in, you'll have more options down the road for refinancing, maybe even selling, and then getting a home on a 30-year term. So like you said, it just opens up a lot more options.
Right. And riddle me this one, Ryan. Is this going to be just a primary, mortgage for a primary home? Or is this going to be available to investors as well? Do we know?
As of right now, it's only been proposed for primary residences.
Okay. So, because I was going to start getting into, well, hey, if investors can begin to use this tool, then we may see relief in, possibly rental prices, but we're not there yet, seems like. So.
Yes, it's more so really helping with affordability for first-time home buyers. So if you're occupying the home, it could be available. So we'll definitely be on the lookout to see if there's more progress with this.
Absolutely. Thank you again, Ryan. Stay tuned, guys. We will keep you informed as this one unfolds. If you want to check out any of our previous Real Estate Tip Tuesday episodes, and there are many to check out, then hop on over to our YouTube channel. It is at Team EvoAZ. That's our handle. Scroll down just a ways. You will see the Real Estate Tip Tuesday playlist in bright red. If you prefer to listen podcast style on your favorite podcast platform, do a quick search for Arizona Real Estate Radio. There you will find us, like, download, click the bell to notify, all the things. You will never miss a beat. And we will see you next week. Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, Katie. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Looking for the right home loan can be overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. Hi, I'm Ryan Gilliam, an Arizona native with 20 years of experience helping families find the best mortgage solution for their needs. Whether you're a first-time home buyer or refinancing, I make the process simple, stress-free, and tailored just for you. I help you access better rates, offer guidance tailored to your goals, and make the mortgage approval process easier every step of the way. Your best mortgage starts with the right partner. Let's make your home goals happen. Reach out today.